One of our clients told us their inbound marketing felt like gambling. Fund the campaign, cross your fingers, and hope pipeline shows up. After a year of working together, their qualified leads were up 124%. What changed wasn't the budget, it was one question they started asking before every campaign. I'm Ian. On today's episode of Ironpaper Investigates, we're going to unpack that question. And as usual, we'll close out with one piece of advice every marketing leader needs to take back to their team. Let's dive in. What do you do when marketing is technically working, but leadership still doesn't trust it? The instinct is typically run more campaigns, but that's usually the wrong move. Here to walk through how Bridgehead IT approached this exact problem is Jesslyn Wood. Jesslyn, thanks for being here.
Happy to be here, Ian.
So the leadership team literally called their inbound gambling. And the strange part is it was actually working. What was fundamentally broken that made it feel like a bet?
That's the tension. So campaigns were getting traction, but leadership had almost no visibility in how inbound turns into pipeline. So for them, every dollar felt like a guess. And underneath, there were some real cracks. The messaging was all about who the company was, their history, their services, instead of the problems that their buyers were actually trying to solve. And nearly all of their lead generation was hinging on one single channel, paid search. So it wasn't that inbound was underperforming, it was just fragile. One channel hiccuped and the whole thing wobbled. And that's what gambling really meant.
So the obvious fix is to do more campaigns, more spend, but you did almost the opposite. Walk me through that a little bit.
Yeah, so more volume doesn't necessarily get you scalable growth, because what is going to happen is the campaigns will expand on what was already existing. And so if that isn't locked in, you start to escalate issues as well as successes, and it just gets you more noise. So instead of adding campaigns, we went straight to that foundation and we focused on three things. We defined who the ideal customer actually was. We analyzed the competitive landscape and we rebuilt their messaging around the buyer. And that competitive piece was a real eye-opener because the whole category was a sea of sameness. Everyone was selling the same services and the same features with the same benefits. And almost nobody was naming the real pressures and risks that make an IT leader act. So the second that you speak to that, buyers engage way earlier. And once we had that locked down, we spread demand generation across multiple channels instead of betting it all on one, which created more consistency and predictability.
So the fix really wasn't louder, it was just clearer.
Exactly. Clarity first, then volume.
And the results really backed it up. Qualified leads up 33% over the prior quarter, 124% year over year, and still compounding in 2026. But you've told me the number isn't the real win. So what do you think the real win was, Jesslyn?
The real win was leadership stopped seeing inbound as a gamble and started treating it as an investment. Once it's a system, instead of a series of bets, you can actually plan around it. And that's what gave them the confidence to expand into new markets like Laredo and Dallas, and to try new things and to give marketing the flexibility to really scale this program. The growth is great, but the mindset shift is what made the growth repeatable.
So Jesslyn, I think, I've been in your seat. A lot of our viewers have been in a seat like yours. You had this moment where you were kind of developing some strategic clarity. Did you have any pushback, or was there a challenge getting the client on board with this new chapter that you wanted to move into?
We definitely did, because we did start out by trying more campaigns. We were taking baby steps getting to a scalable growth engine. What they can see from their perspective is this campaign is working. So let's try it again somewhere else. Let's try this one again somewhere else. And that's where we started to really run into the conflict that they're not all working the same way. What works in one area is not working in the other. We really needed to identify why that was. And when we were able to lay out all of these examples of data from our past work and of the campaigns that we had run, that's where we were able to get the buy-in to start this strategic work.
So, Jesslyn, we talked at the top about this one question. What do you think the one question that business and marketing leaders need to be asking themselves before approving the next campaign?
I would ask, do we know why our marketing is working? If your marketing feels like a gamble, that's the tell. You're buying more bets and you're hoping for similar results instead of building the system that provides the confidence those bets will pay off. Foundation is really what turns marketing from a gamble into an investment.
Yeah, I love that, going from a bet to an investment. So if that reframed something for you and how you're thinking about marketing for your organization, make sure you hit subscribe and watch the next episode of Ironpaper Investigates.